My beloved child, there comes a moment when silence itself begins to speak. A moment when the waiting grows heavy, not because I am absent, but because the hour has arrived. You feel it now, don't you? That gentle pressure in your spirit, that quiet urgency you cannot explain. This is not anxiety. This is not restlessness. This is my voice, calling you with love and purpose. And I tell you gently, yet firmly, this call will not hold any longer. I have watched you pause. I have seen you hesitate at the edge of obedience, weighing comfort against courage, familiarity against faith. You told yourself there would be more time, a clearer sign, a better season. And I did not rush you. I waited with patience, with mercy, with understanding. But now, my child, the stirring in your heart has grown louder because delay is no longer protecting you. It is holding you back. You did not imagine this moment. You did not create this sense of urgency on your own. I planted it within you. Long before you understood it, long before you felt ready, I marked this hour. What you are sensing is alignment. Heaven and earth drawing close around your decision. I am not calling you to panic. I am calling you to awaken. Listen closely. The reason this feels intense is not because something bad will happen if you wait. It is because something sacred is waiting to be released if you move. Purpose does not knock forever, not because I withdraw my love, but because timing matters. Just as fruit ripens and must be gathered, just as doors open and must be entered, so does calling require response. You may wonder why now. Why, after all the years of preparation, healing, and uncertainty, I am speaking with such clarity. It is because you are ready, even if you do not feel strong. Readiness is not confidence, it is willingness. And I see in you a heart that still listens, even while trembling. Do not mistake this moment for pressure. This is invitation. A loving summons from a father who knows what is ahead and refuses to let you miss it. I am not asking you to run blindly. I am asking you to trust me enough to stand up, to lift your eyes, to say yes before every detail makes sense. The world around you is loud, demanding your attention, draining your focus. But this call cuts through the noise because it comes from eternity. It reaches places fear cannot touch. It stirs courage you did not know you carried. And though part of you wants to postpone, another part of you already knows, this moment matters. I am not angry with you. I am not disappointed. I am present. I am near. And I am calling you forward with steady love. What you do next will shape more than your path. It will shape your peace. So breathe, my child. Be still for just a moment. Let these words settle deep within you. This is not coincidence. This is not emotion. This is calling. And this call will not hold any longer. My beloved child, I want you to know this with certainty. I have been calling you for a long time. Not with shouting, not with force, but with persistence wrapped in tenderness. I have spoken to you in moments you almost missed, in quiet mornings, in sleepless nights, in the ache you could not name. I have called you through peace that surprised you, and through discomfort that refused to leave. Every time your heart stirred without explanation, it was me. You wondered if it was just your thoughts, your emotions, your imagination. But I tell you now, it was never random. I was teaching you to recognize my voice, not as thunder, but as truth that lingers. I was drawing you closer, slowly, patiently, allowing you to grow familiar with the sound of my presence before asking you to move. I have called you in ways only you would understand. Through doors that opened briefly, through opportunities that brushed past you, through words spoken by others that felt as if they were meant just for you. I have called you when you felt strong, and I have called you when you felt empty. Even when you turned away, even when you told yourself you would respond later, I did not stop calling. Love does not give up easily. There were seasons when you were not ready to answer, and I knew it. Seasons when fear was loud, when wounds were still tender, when faith felt fragile. I did not demand more than you could give. I walked with you through the waiting. I allowed you to grow, to heal, to learn the difference between my voice and the noise of the world. And all the while my call remained, steady and unchanged. You must understand this, my child. My calling has never been about perfection. It has always been about relationship. I was not waiting for you to become flawless. I was waiting for you to become willing. Every step you took toward healing mattered. Every tear you cried in secret was seen. Nothing was wasted. Not the detour, not the delay, not even the doubts. There were moments you felt far from me, yet I was closer than you realized. When you questioned your worth, I was affirming it. When you felt unseen, I was watching with care. When you felt forgotten, I was shaping a future you could not yet see. I never withdrew my hand from your life. I never stopped preparing the way. The reason my call feels clearer now is not because I have just begun speaking. It is because your heart has been trained to hear. You have lived enough, lost enough, and learned enough to recognize that this voice carries life. You know now that comfort without purpose eventually grows hollow. You know now that safety without obedience quietly drains joy. I am not calling you because you are late. I am calling you because the moment is right. There is a difference. I redeem time. I restore years. I bring beauty from what seemed delayed. What matters now is not how long it took you to arrive here, but that you are here, listening, open, aware. You may still feel unsure. You may still feel small. That does not disqualify you. It draws you closer to me. I have always done my greatest work through hearts that lean on me rather than trust themselves. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to trust me more than your fear. As I speak to you now, let this truth settle deep within you. You have never been overlooked. You have never been second choice. You have never been outside my plan. The call you hear is not sudden. It is fulfilled timing. It is the echo of my faithfulness meeting your readiness. Stay with me in this moment. Do not rush ahead, and do not retreat backward. Just listen. Let my voice steady you. Let my presence reassure you. I am not calling you into confusion. I am calling you into clarity, step by step, breath by breath. I have been calling you my beloved child. And now, you are finally hearing not just with your ears, but with your heart. My beloved child, you have felt this before. Not just once, but many times. The gentle pull on your heart when the world went quiet. That inner knowing that whispered, "This matters." You tried to explain it away. You told yourself it was coincidence, emotion, or timing that wasn't right. Yet it returned again and again, patient and persistent. That was me, reminding you that truth recognized once cannot be forgotten. There were moments when you always answered. Moments when your spirit leaned forward, when courage briefly rose, when you imagined what life might look like if you said yes. And then fear spoke louder. Comfort wrapped itself around you. Delay felt safer than obedience. I did not scold you for that. I understood your hesitation. But understand this now. The reason this call feels heavier today is because your heart already knows what your mind has been avoiding. You recognized my voice long before you trusted it. Even when you walked away, something inside you stayed turned toward me. That is why distraction never fully satisfied you. That is why settling never brought peace. That is why even your victory sometimes felt incomplete. Purpose unattended will always knock again. Do not be ashamed that you felt it before and paused. That pause taught you discernment. It taught you hunger. It taught you the cost of silence. And now, when my voice rises within you, it carries clarity. You are no longer guessing. You are remembering. My child, this is the moment where remembrance must become response. Not tomorrow. Not when everything feels perfect. Now. Not because I am rushing you, but because your spirit is ready to move from awareness into action. Knowing without obeying eventually becomes weight. Obedience releases peace. As you listen to these words, I invite you to do something simple but meaningful. If these words are stirring your heart, if they are awakening something you have felt before, bless this message with a like. Let it be a quiet yes, a signal that your spirit is listening. And if you know others who are standing at the edge of their calling, share this message with them. Do not keep light to yourself when it was never meant to be hidden. I also invite you to subscribe, my child, not out of habit, but out of hunger. Stay connected to these reminders of truth, so your heart does not grow dull to my voice again. And I ask you, hype this video. Lift it up so it can reach souls who feel the same stirring but have no words for it yet. Let this message travel where I intend it to go. Now hear me closely. This call is not only for you. Your obedience becomes permission for others. When you move, courage multiplies. When you respond, chains loosen. There are hearts waiting to hear what I will do through your yes. That is why this moment matters. And as you pause here, I speak to you not just as a father, but as the one who sends. I say to you, when you sow into what carries my voice, you are lighting lamps in places you may never see. I am the one who said that seed placed into good soil will return with harvest pressed down and overflowing. This message you are hearing is soil. This work is soil. I say to you now, my beloved child, this is my invitation to act. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link placed for you in the description and shown through the QR code, you are not giving to a platform. You are fueling the spread of my call. You are placing oil in lamps that must stay burning. You are helping my voice reach hearts standing where you once stood. Do not delay this act of obedience. Let it be prophetic. Let it be timely. I bless every seed sown here. I bless the hands that give, the hearts that respond, and the lives that will be touched because you chose to move when I spoke. I command you now, respond as love leads you, and watch what I will multiply through your obedience. You have felt this before, my child. But this time, you are not meant to feel it and walk away. This time, you are meant to answer. My beloved child, let me lift a weight from your heart that you have carried quietly for too long. The weight of thinking you failed me because you waited. The weight of believing delay meant disobedience. Hear me clearly now, and let this truth settle gently into your spirit. Delay was not rejection, and waiting was not betrayal. I have never counted your pauses as rebellion. I have always counted your breath. Your seasons when stopping with wisdom. There were moments where remaining still protected you. You were not running from me. You were learning to survive, learning to heal, learning to trust again. I saw the fear that tightened your chest. I saw the questions that kept you awake. And I did not demand movement when your soul was still wounded. A loving father does not push a child with bruised knees to run before they can stand. You judged yourself harshly for not moving sooner. You replayed moments in your mind, wondering if you missed me, if you disappointed me, if you somehow fell behind. But I am not bound by clocks the way you are. I do not measure your life by speed. I measure it by surrender. And even in your waiting, your heart remained open. That mattered more than you know. Delay became disobedience only in your thoughts, not in my eyes. I saw preparation where you saw procrastination. I saw growth where you saw stagnation. I saw courage forming quietly while you believed nothing was happening. You did not waste time. Time served you. You were learning discernment. You were learning what my voice sounds like beneath pressure, beneath fear, beneath expectation. If you had moved when you first felt the call, you would have doubted every step. You would have confused momentum with obedience. I love you too much to rush you into something your heart could not yet carry. So release the shame now. Shame that not come from me. It clouds vision and weakens trust. I do not call you forward by accusing you of being late. I call you forward by reminding you that you are ready now. Grace does not erase responsibility, but it removes condemnation. And there is no condemnation in my call. You must understand something sacred, my child. Timing is not only about when you move. It is about who you are when you move. You are not the same person you were before. Your roots are deeper. Your compassion is wider. Your humility is stronger. The waiting shaped you in ways obedience alone could not have. Even now, as I speak, I am not scolding you for yesterday. I am inviting you into today. I do not stand behind you counting lost moments. I stand before you, opening the next step. My eyes are always forward. Let yours be the same. There were lessons you needed to learn slowly. Strength you needed to gain quietly. Wisdom that only comes through patience. If I had forced the call earlier, it would have crushed you instead of fulfilled you. I am gentle with becoming. I always have been. Do not let regret speak louder than truth. Regret tells you that you failed. Truth tells you that you were being formed. Regret keeps you looking backward. The truth draws you forward. Choose which voice you will believe. Now hear me say this with clarity and love. The season of waiting has done its work. You are not being punished by urgency now. You are being invited by readiness. The door opening before you is not a test of how fast you can move, but of how deeply you can trust. I am not asking you to make up for lost time. I redeem time. I restore years. I bring fruit from ground you thought was barren. What matters now is not how long you waited, but that you are willing to step when I say step. So breathe, my beloved child. Lay down the burden of self-accusation. Let your shoulders relax. You have not fallen out of my will. You have not disappointed my heart. You are standing exactly where grace meets calling. And from this place, not guilt, not fear, not pressure, I will lead you forward. My beloved child, I speak to you now not to frighten you, but to be honest with you in love. There is a cost to ignoring a call, not because I punish hesitation, but because purpose unattended slowly fades into restlessness. I do not warn you to create fear. I warn you because I desire fullness for you, and fullness cannot grow where calling is continually postponed. When you ignore what I am asking of you, something within you begins to ache quietly. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gently, persistently. Joy becomes thinner. Peace becomes conditional. You may still smile, still function, still succeed in the eyes of others, yet something inside you feels unresolved. That feeling is not failure. It is unfulfilled purpose asking to breathe. I want you to understand this clearly. You can live comfortably without answering me. but you cannot live completely. Comfort can keep you alive. Obedience makes you alive. When you silence my call, you do not lose my love, but you lose alignment. And misalignment always costs more energy than obedience ever will. You begin to substitute purpose with distraction. You fill the space with activity, entertainment, noise, achievement. For a while it works, but eventually the quiet returns, and with it, the same question: why do I feel like there is more? That question is holy. It is my mercy refusing to let you settle for less than what you were created to carry. The cost of ignoring the call is not catastrophe. It is erosion. Dreams shrink. Courage dulls. Sensitivity to my voice fades. Not because I stop speaking, but because your heart grows used to saying later. And later, repeated too often, becomes a habit that numbs expectation. I do not say this to accuse you. I say this to awaken you. You were not designed to drift through life wondering what might have been. You were designed to walk with intention, with direction, with divine partnership. When you ignore the call, you walk alone more than you need to. There are also others connected to your obedience. This is not pressure. It is purpose. When you delay, their breakthrough waits. When you hesitate, their encouragement is postponed. You do not see them yet, but they exist. Lives intersect because someone said yes at the right time. You are part of a story larger than yourself. Ignoring the call does not make you bad. It makes you tired. Tired of carrying questions without answers. Tired of sensing potential without release. Tired of standing near the door without stepping through. That tiredness is not weakness. It is a signal that you were not meant to stay here. I want you to notice something important, my child. The longer you delay, the heavier the call feels. Not because it grows harsher, but because resistance creates strain. Obedience lightens what delay burdened. What feels overwhelming now would feel peaceful if you trusted me enough to move. I am not asking you to imagine worst-case scenarios if you do not answer. I am asking you to imagine a life where you finally do. A life where your choices align with your spirit. Where your days carry meaning beyond routine. Where peace flows not from avoidance but from agreement with me. You fear losing something if you obey. Comfort. Security. Familiarity. But what you lose by ignoring me is greater. Clarity. Fulfillment. Intimacy with me in motion. You were created to walk with me, not watch from a distance. Hear me say this gently and firmly. Ignoring the call will not destroy you, but it will slowly disconnect you from who you truly are. I love you too much to remain silent about that. This is why I speak now. Not to condemn, but to rescue you from a smaller life than the one I prepared. I am calling you not away from joy, but toward it. Not away from safety, but into trust. The cost of ignoring the call is living beneath your capacity. And I did not form you for less. My beloved child, hear me now with clarity and peace. You were chosen for this hour, not by accident, not by convenience, not because others were unavailable. You were chosen because I knew your heart before you ever knew my name. I knew your struggles, your questions, your quiet strength, and your hidden compassion. I knew the weight you could carry and the tenderness you would need to keep. This moment, this season, this calling, it was shaped with you in mind. You look around and see others who seem stronger, louder, more prepared. You wonder why I would choose you when you feel ordinary, uncertain, still becoming. But I have never chosen based on appearance or confidence. I choose based on willingness. I choose based on hearts that listen, even when they tremble. I choose those who will lean on me rather than trust their own understanding. This hour is not random. History is not drifting. Lives are not unfolding without direction. I place people in moments intentionally. I align calling with timing the way the sun rises at the appointed hour. And you, my child, are standing in the right moment for who you have become. Not who you were. Not who you think you must be. Who you are now. There is something in you that fits this time. A sensitivity that can hear what others ignore. A resilience shaped by difficulty. A humility that does not seek attention but seeks truth. These are not weaknesses. They are qualifications. You were formed through experiences that gave you eyes to see and a heart to care. That is why this hour calls your name. Do not underestimate the power of being present when others turn away. Do not dismiss the strength of obedience offered quietly. Heaven does not measure impact the way the world does. I see it, yes, spoken in a whisper, the same as one declared aloud. What matters is the alignment of your heart with mine. You were not born too early. You were not born too late. You were not misplaced. You are here because this generation needs what I placed inside you. Your voice carries something necessary. Your obedience carries influence you cannot yet imagine. Even your wounds have been shaped into wisdom. Nothing about you is wasted. You think you must become someone else to step forward. I tell you now, you must only become honest. Honest about your fear. Honest about your longing. Honest about the stirring you can no longer silence. I am not asking you to transform yourself. I am asking you to trust me as I lead you. This hour requires courage, yes, but not the kind that never shakes. It requires the courage to move while shaking, to step while unsure, to say yes while still learning how to walk. That is the courage I honor. That is the courage I empower. You have been prepared in ways you did not recognize. Conversations that sharpened you. Losses that deepened you. Delays that matured you. Even disappointments that taught you discernment. You are not behind. You are equipped. You are not lacking. You are positioned. I know you fear missing it again. I know you fear misunderstanding me. But I am not a distant voice. I am near. I guide those who listen. I correct those who wander. I stay with those who step forward imperfectly. You are not stepping alone into uncertainty. You are stepping with me into purpose. This hour does not demand that you know everything. It only asks that you trust me enough to begin. The path will unfold as you walk. Light will meet your feet step by step. I do not reveal everything at once because I desire relationship, not control. So lift your eyes, my beloved child. This is not someone else's moment. This is yours. Not because you are flawless, but because you are willing. Not because you are fearless, but because you are listening. You were chosen for this hour. And I would not call you if I had not already placed within you everything you need to answer. My beloved child, I want you to rest in this truth now. I have prepared the way before you ever took a step. Nothing you are about to face is unexpected to me. No obstacle will surprise me. And no resistance will catch me unprepared. Long before you felt the stirring to move, I was already moving on your behalf. You see uncertainty ahead and think preparation must still be lacking. But preparation is not always visible. Much of what I do happens beyond your sight, beneath the surface, in places you could not reach on your own. While you were waiting, I was aligning people. While you were questioning, I was adjusting circumstances. While you were healing, I was clearing paths you did not know existed. You fear stepping forward because you imagine walking into chaos. But I tell you, you are walking into order. What feels unstructured to you has already been measured by my hand. I do not send my children into confusion without covering. I do not call you forward without provision. Where I guide, I sustain. There are doors that will open not because you force them, but because it is time. There are hearts that will respond not because you persuade them, but because I have softened them. There are answers that will come not because you figured everything out, but because obedience placed you where clarity lies. I know you worry about what you cannot control. You ask yourself if you have enough strength, enough resources, enough wisdom. You forget that I am the one who goes ahead of you. I am not standing behind you, pushing you forward. I am before you, shaping what you will step into. You are not responsible for outcomes. You are responsible for obedience. Outcomes belong to me. When you try to carry both, you grow weary. When you trust me with what is mine, peace returns to you. The way prepared for you does not require perfection. It requires trust. There are challenges ahead, yes, but none without purpose. Resistance does not mean absence. Difficulty does not mean failure. Sometimes it is simply confirmation that movement has begun. I have already placed strength where you will need it. You will not discover it until you arrive, but it will be there. Do not mistake unfamiliarity for danger. New ground always feels uncertain at first. But I do not call you into places where my presence will not sustain you. Every step you take in obedience will be met by my faithfulness. You will look back one day and realize how carefully each moment was arranged. You may not yet see how the pieces connect. That is not your burden to solve. I see the full picture. I see how one act of obedience leads to another. I see how a single step opens paths you never imagined. Trusting me does not mean understanding everything. It means believing that I do. I have already accounted for your weakness. I have already made room for your learning. I have already planned grace for your mistakes. You will not be disqualified for needing help. You will not be abandoned for asking questions. I walk with you through every stage of becoming. You wonder if the timing is right. I tell you it is not only right, it is intentional. Seasons shift when purpose requires it. Circumstances change when alignment is necessary. The reason things feel unstable around you is because I am repositioning you. Stability will follow obedience, not precede it. Lift your eyes from what you fear and place them on me. I am steady. I am faithful. I am present. The path ahead may stretch beyond your sight, but it does not stretch beyond my care. I do not lead you halfway and leave you there. I finish what I begin. So take comfort, my beloved child. You are not stepping into the unknown alone. You are stepping into what I have already prepared. Walk forward with trust, not because you feel ready, but because I am with you. My beloved child, I need you to listen carefully now, because what you are hearing within you matters deeply. Not every voice that speaks loudly carries truth. Not every urgent feeling comes from me. Fear is skilled at imitation. It borrows the tone of wisdom, disguises itself as caution, and presents itself as protection. But fear is not the voice you hear calling you forward. Fear speaks in questions that paralyze. It asks, what if you fail? What if you lose? What if you are not enough? It magnifies uncertainty until movement feels dangerous. It convinces you that staying still is safer than stepping out. But fear never leads you toward life. It leads you toward limitation. And I did not create you to live confined by what might go wrong. My voice does not rush you into panic. It does not accuse you. It does not threaten you with loss. My voice carries peace, even when it calls you into challenge. It invites, it assures, it steadies. Even when the path is narrow, my voice remains calm. If what you hear leaves you anxious, condemned, or frozen, it is not me. You must learn to recognize the difference. Fear focuses on your weakness. I speak to your identity. Fear isolates you. I draw you closer. Fear tells you to wait until you feel ready. I tell you to trust me even when you feel small. Fear demands certainty before obedience. I ask for obedience before certainty. There have been times when you thought fear was wisdom. You called it being practical, being cautious, being realistic. And while wisdom is gentle and clear, fear is harsh and loud. Wisdom aligns with my peace. Fear robs you of it. The voice you are hearing now, the one stirring courage, the one inviting movement despite trembling, that voice is mine. I know fear well. I know how it tightens your chest, how it clouds your thoughts, how it brings memories of past pain to the surface. Fear tries to convince you that history will repeat itself. But I am the one who redeems history. I am not limited by what happened before. Neither are you. Fear will always speak when you are close to obedience. That is not coincidence. It is resistance. It rises because it knows that your yes carries power. But fear has no authority over you unless you give it one. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You do not overcome fear by fighting it loudly. You overcome it by listening to me more closely. When you quiet your heart and ask, is this voice drawing me toward trust or toward hiding? The answer becomes clear. My voice may challenge you, but it will never strip you of peace. Remember this, my child. Fear speaks in urgency without assurance. I speak in assurance even when urgency is present. Fear demands control. I invite surrender. Fear tells you to protect yourself. I tell you I am your refuge. There will be moments when both voices seem close together. Fear will speak first, loud and fast. My voice will come after, steady and sure. Do not mistake volume for authority. The still, steady voice that calls you forward in love, that is me. You are not weak because you feel fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is obedience in its presence. I am not disappointed when you tremble. I am near you when you do. I do not wait for fear to leave before I walk with you. I walk with you through it. So when you feel hesitation rising, pause and ask yourself what the voice is producing in you. If it produces despair, withdrawal, and self-doubt, it is not from me. If it produces humility, trust, and a quiet strength, even amid uncertainty, it is my voice. I am calling you toward life, not away from it. I am calling you toward purpose, not pressure. I am calling you toward freedom, not confinement. Learn my voice, my beloved child. It will always lead you where fear cannot follow. My beloved child, there is a truth I want to place gently, but firmly into your heart now. Obedience unlocks what waiting never can. Waiting has its season, and you honor it. But waiting cannot open doors that only movement will touch. There are things I have prepared for you that remain sealed, not because I am withholding them, but because they are released only when you step forward in trust. You have waited long enough to know the difference between patience and postponement. Patience rests in me. Postponement hides behind comfort. One strengthens faith, the other slowly weakens it. I am not calling you away from rest. I am calling you into motion that brings rest with it. Obedience is not a grand gesture. It is often a quiet decision made without applause. It is choosing alignment when no one else sees. It is saying yes in the privacy of your heart before anything changes on the outside. And yet, that quiet yes echoes loudly in the unseen. There are breakthroughs that prayer alone will not release. Not because prayer is insufficient, but because prayer is meant to lead you into action. You asked me to guide you, to open doors, to give you clarity. Now I ask you to move in the direction I have already illuminated. Light does not always flood the path at once. It meets you step by step. You fear that obedience will cost you more than you can afford. But disobedience costs you more than you realize. It costs you momentum. It costs you confidence. It costs you the joy of walking in agreement with me. Obedience, even when difficult, brings peace because it aligns your spirit with truth. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions are rare, and they are not required. If you wait until fear disappears, until certainty is complete, until every outcome is guaranteed, you will remain standing at the edge forever. Faith was never meant to operate that way. Faith moves while learning. Faith steps while trusting. I am not asking you to leap blindly. I am asking you to take the step that is in front of you. The next step, not the entire journey. You do not need to know how everything will unfold. You need to know who is walking with you. And I am here. Obedience sharpens your hearing. The more you respond to my voice, the clearer it becomes. Delay dulls it. You have felt that dullness before, the heaviness of knowing what to do but not doing it. Obedience lifts that weight. It brings clarity, energy, and peace. There are blessings that activate only through obedience. Not because I require payment, but because alignment creates flow. When you align your will with mine, you step into a current already moving in your favor. Resistance tires you. Agreement carries you. You have asked me for more confidence, more courage, more confirmation. I tell you now, confidence grows through obedience, not before it. Courage is strengthened by action, not contemplation. Confirmation often comes after the step, not before it. This is the order of faith. My child, obedience does not mean you will never struggle. It means your struggle will have meaning. It means your effort will not be wasted. It means even your mistakes will become teachers rather than chains. When you move with me, nothing is lost. There are things waiting for you on the other side of obedience. Peace you have not felt yet. Joy that feels fuller. Clarity that settles your heart. You will not access them by standing still. You will access them by trusting me enough to move. I know you want reassurance that obedience will be worth it. Hear me clearly. Walking with me is always worth it. Even when the path is hard. Even when the results are slow. Even when you do not see immediate change. I do not lead you into emptiness. I lead you into life. So choose obedience, my beloved child. Not because you are forced, but because you are ready. Waiting has taught you enough. And I'll let obedience unlock what waiting never could. My beloved child, I want you to hear this with reassurance and hope. The door is still open. You have not missed your moment. You have not arrived too late. Mercy has held the door steady, not because time stands still, but because love has been patient with you. What you sense now is not pressure. It is invitation renewed. Doors do not remain open forever, but this one stands open because grace has been at work in you. You are standing at it now with clearer eyes, a softer heart, and deeper understanding than before. That is not accident. That is timing redeemed. I have not withdrawn the call. I have clarified it. You feared that hesitation had disqualified you. I tell you plainly, it has not. What disqualifies a heart is not delay but refusal. And you have not refused me. You have wrestled, questioned, waited, learned. And now you stand ready to choose. That is why the door feels visible again. I want you to understand something important. An open door does not always feel easy. Sometimes it feels intimidating because it leads somewhere new. But new does not mean unsafe. New often means necessary. And I do not open doors without intention or protection. You may still feel uncertain. That does not mean the door is wrong. It means you are human. Courage is not certainty. It is trust in my presence beyond certainty. I will not force you through this door, but I will stand beside you, reminding you that what lies ahead is shaped by my care. This door represents more than opportunity. It represents alignment. Peace does not come from avoiding doors, it comes from walking through the right ones. You have tried to find peace by staying where you are, and it has not settled. That is because peace is waiting on the other side of obedience. Hear me gently, but clearly. This invitation will not linger forever. Not because I am impatient, but because purpose moves forward. I do not say this to rush you into fear, but to call you into awareness. You are not being chased. You are being called. Now, my child, as you stand here listening, let this moment become more than reflection. Let it become response. If these words are reaching you, if you feel truth stirring within you, bless this message with a like. Let it mark your heart's agreement. And if you know others who are standing at their own doors, share this message with them. Someone needs to hear that the door is still open. I also invite you to subscribe, not casually, but intentionally. Stay connected to these reminders so your spirit remains attentive and awake. And I ask you, hype this video. Lift it up so it reaches the hearts that are hesitating in silence. When you do, you are partnering with me in calling them forward. Now hear me speak not only to you, but through you. I say this as your father. When you support what carries my voice, you are opening doors for others. You are placing keys into hands that have been waiting. This is not about giving to a channel. It is about fueling a calling. I speak to you personally now. I am the one who said that those who sow generously will reap generously, not always in material, but in impact, peace, and joy. When you give through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed for you in the description and shown in QR code form, you are sowing into open doors for souls. This is not a small act. It is prophetic. It is timely. It is obedience expressed through generosity. And I bless it. I bless your giving with increase, clarity, and peace. I bless your home, your steps, and your obedience. And I command you now, respond without delay. Let your giving move as your heart is moved, and watch how I multiply what you place in my hands. The door is still open, my beloved child. Do not stand before it forever. Step forward with me. My beloved child, I know the thought that has lingered in the quiet corners of your mind. The one you rarely say aloud. The one that whispers, I am not qualified for this. I hear it. I see it. And I speak to it now with truth and tenderness. You are not underqualified. You never were. You have measured yourself by standards I never set. You have compared your beginning to someone else's middle. You have looked at your limitations and assumed they disqualify you. But I do not call based on human resumes. I call based on hearts that are willing to trust me. What you call weakness, I call space for my strength. You think qualification comes from knowing everything, from having perfect confidence, from never doubting. But if that were true, no one would ever be called. I have always chosen those who knew they needed me. Dependence is not a flaw in my kingdom. It is the foundation. You ask yourself if you are skilled enough, brave enough, wise enough. But I ask you something different. Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to obey? Are you willing to walk with me even when you feel unsure? That willingness outweighs every credential you think you lack. You have been trained in ways you do not recognize. Pain has taught you compassion. Waiting has taught you patience. Failure has taught you humility. These are not lesser qualifications. They are sacred ones. Many who appear strong lack these gifts, and they stumble where you will stand. Do not despise your small beginnings. Do not underestimate what I can do with a heart that stays soft. I am not asking you to impress anyone. I am asking you to be faithful. Faithfulness is something you have already practiced in ways you forgot to count. You believe others are more prepared because they appear confident. But confidence built on self fades quickly. Confidence built on me endures. I would rather send someone who leans on me than someone who leans on themselves. I would rather walk with someone who listens than someone who assumes. You worry about making mistakes. Let me free you from that fear. Mistakes made while walking with me do not disqualify you. They refine you. I correct gently. I redirect faithfully. I do not abandon my children for learning as they go. Growth requires movement, not perfection. I am not waiting for you to become someone else. I am calling you as you are, trusting that I will shape you as you walk. Obedience is the classroom. Experience is the teacher. And I am patient with every lesson. You may not feel ready because readiness does not feel like excitement. It often feels like surrender. It feels like stepping forward without armor, trusting that I will be enough. And I will be. I have always been. Look at your life again, my child, through my eyes. See how you survived what should have broken you. See how you remained kind when bitterness tempted you. See how you kept listening even when silence surrounded you. These are not signs of inadequacy. They are signs of calling. You are not underqualified because I qualify those I call. I supply what you lack. I speak where words fail. I strengthen where fear tries to weaken you. The work ahead does not depend on your ability to carry it alone. It depends on your willingness to let me carry it with you. So release the lie that tells you to wait until you feel worthy. Worthiness is not earned here. It is given. You are mine. That is enough. Stand in that truth. Lift your head now, my beloved child. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are not unprepared. You are called. And that is the highest qualification there is. My beloved child, I want you to understand how I speak to those who trust me. I do not always give full explanations before movement. I do not reveal every detail while you are standing still. I speak most clearly when you begin to move. This is not because I withhold wisdom, but because faith grows through motion, not observation. You have asked me for clarity again and again. You have waited for certainty so complete that doubt would have no room to exist. But clarity is not something I pour out all at once. It unfolds as you walk with me. I speak as you move because movement positions your heart to listen differently. Stillness can become comfort, but movement becomes conversation. You worry about making the wrong step. You fear misunderstanding me. But I am not fragile. My will is not so delicate that one sincere step will ruin everything. I am a guiding father, not a silent judge. When you move toward me with humility, I guide your feet. I adjust your direction. I correct without condemning. Think of a child learning to walk. They do not understand balance before they step. They discover it through stepping. And I do not scold them for stumbling. I steady them. I encourage them. I stay close. That is how I lead you. I do not expect mastery before obedience. I expect trust. You want me to speak louder before you act. But often, the whisper becomes clear only after obedience begins. When you take the step you already know to take, the next instruction follows. When you honor what I have already shown you, more light appears. Disobedience clouds clarity. Obedience sharpens it. There are things I will only explain once you are moving, because explanation without obedience becomes knowledge without life. I am not interested in filling your mind alone. I am shaping your heart, and hearts are shaped in motion. You may feel like you are walking without a map, but you are not walking without me. I am present in each step, watching, guiding, and speaking. You will recognize my direction not always as words, but as peace, as restraint, as conviction, as reassurance. I am fluent in many ways of communicating with you. Do not fear silence in the beginning. Silence does not mean abandonment. Sometimes it means trust is being built. Sometimes it means I want you to act on what you already know before asking for more. Faithfulness in small steps creates space for greater guidance. You think you need to hear me constantly to be sure. But I have already placed my truth within you. I have already shaped your conscience, your discernment, your sensitivity to my spirit. As you move, these things awaken. As you obey, they strengthen. I am not distant while you walk. I am attentive. I see every hesitation, every question, every moment of courage, and I speak at the pace your heart can receive. Too much at once would overwhelm you. So I lead you gently, step by step. You not mistake uncertainty for abandonment. Uncertainty is often the space where trust deepens. If I explained everything now, you would rely on understanding instead of relationship. And I desire closeness with you more than control over outcomes. You will not miss me if your heart is turned toward me. Even if you stumble, even if you misstep, I am near. I redirect those who walk with me. I only allow wandering when someone insists on walking without me. And you are not doing that. So move, my beloved child. Take the step you know to take. Speak the word you know to speak. Release what you know to release. As you do, listen, not with fear but with trust. I will speak. I always do. I speak as you move, because movement keeps you close. And closeness is where my voice becomes clear. My beloved child, I want to open your eyes to something you may not yet fully see. This call upon your life was never meant to end with you. What I am inviting you into will shape others through you. Your obedience will become a bridge, a signal, a doorway for lives you may never even meet. This is not pressure. This is purpose unfolding. You have often thought of calling as something personal, something between you and me alone. And while it begins there, it does not remain there. Obedience multiplies. When you answer me, ripples move outward into places your voice cannot reach on its own. Someone else finds courage because you move. Someone else finds hope because you did not stay silent. Someone else finds direction because you trusted me enough to step forward. You underestimate how closely others are watching, not with judgment, but with longing. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for permission. Permission to believe again. Permission to try. Permission to trust me despite fear. And when you obey, you give that permission without saying a word. There are people bound to your obedience not as a burden, but as a divine connection. Their healing is tied to your courage. Their breakthrough waits on your yes. This does not mean you carry their responsibility. It means you carry influence. Influence born from faithfulness, not from force. You may wonder how your small step could matter so much. But I tell you, nothing done in obedience is small. Seeds are small, yet they carry forests. A single word spoken in truth can undo years of silence. A single act of faith can unlock generations of courage. Heaven measures impact differently than the world does. There are moments ahead when you will not see the fruit immediately. You will wonder if your obedience made a difference. Trust me when I tell you, it did. Not all fruit ripens in your sight. Some grows quietly, underground, in hearts you will never know on this side of eternity. But I see it. I honor it. Your life is a message, my child. Not a loud one, but a living one. How you respond when called, how you move through fear, how you choose trust over comfort. These things preach louder than words. Others will recognize my faithfulness through your journey. Do not let this truth intimidate you. Let it steady you. You are not alone in this call. I am with you, and I am working through you. You are not carrying the outcome. You are simply saying yes. I carried the rest. You fear letting others down. But obedience does not burden. It liberates. When you align with me, you release what others have been waiting for. You become a conduit, not a container. What flows through you is not diminished. It is multiplied. There will be times when you feel unseen in your obedience. Times when you feel as though your yes went unnoticed. But I notice. Heaven records faithfulness long before the earth applauds it. And one day, you will understand how much your quiet courage mattered. I chose you knowing the influence you would carry. Not because you sought it, but because you would steward it humbly. I trust you with this call because I trust your heart. That trust is not misplaced. So do not shrink back now. Do not silence what I am awakening in you. Your obedience is not only about fulfilling your purpose, it is about releasing others into theirs. That is how my kingdom moves, from one willing heart to another. Step forward, my beloved child. Let your yes echo beyond you. Lives are waiting, not on your perfection, but on your obedience. My beloved child, I know one of the deepest fears resting in your heart is the fear of walking this path alone. You imagine obedience as isolation, as separation from what is familiar, as standing exposed without support. But hear me now with certainty and comfort. You are not alone in this. You never have been, and you never will be. I have not called you ahead of me. I walk with you. I do not send you where my presence cannot sustain you. Even when you cannot feel me, I am near. Even when the road grows quiet, my steps remain beside yours. Loneliness is not a sign of abandonment. Sometimes it is simply the sound of distractions falling away so you can hear me more clearly. There will be moments when others do not understand your obedience. They may question your choices, misunderstand your motives, or grow distant as your life begins to change. This does not mean you chose wrongly. It means your alignment is shifting. Not everyone can walk where you are being led, but you are not being left without companionship. I am your constant. When human voices fade, mine remains. When encouragement is scarce, my presence is sufficient. I strengthen you from within, not always by removing difficulty, but by assuring you that you are carried through it. You are never required to generate your own strength. I supply it daily. There will be new connections as well, ones prepared ahead of you, hearts that recognize yours, voices that confirm what I have spoken. You do not need to search for them. Obedience will place you where they are. I weave relationships into purpose intentionally, at the right time, in the right way. Do not confuse solitude with abandonment. Solitude can be sacred. It is often in quiet companionship with me that clarity deepens and courage grows. I meet you there. I speak to you there. I restore you there. You are not alone in the silence. You are accompanied by my presence. I know the weight feels heavier when you imagine carrying it alone. But you are not carrying it alone. I carry it with you. I shoulder what you cannot. I steady you when you stumble. I guide you when you are unsure. You are never unsupported. Remember this, my child. I do not call individuals and then withdraw. I call and remain. I stay in the process, in the struggle, in the learning. I do not leave you halfway through obedience. I do not abandon you when the path grows unfamiliar. I am faithful to walk every step with you. You may feel lonely at times, but loneliness is a feeling, not a truth. Truth is this: I am with you. I am attentive to your prayers, your tears, your unspoken fears. I do not miss a single one. My presence does not depend on your awareness of it. I am present because I choose to be. When doubt whispers that you are walking alone, pause and remember how many times I have already carried you through what you thought would break you. I was there then. I am here now. I will be there ahead. I do not change. Let this assurance settle into you. You are not stepping into isolation. You are stepping into deeper companionship with me. And from that place, everything else will find its order. So walk forward, my beloved child, not with fear of being alone, but with confidence that you are accompanied. I am with you, always. My beloved child, I know the weight you feel pressing on your heart. You have wondered if it is too much, if it will overwhelm you, if it will drain the joy from your life. But hear me clearly now, and let this truth change how you see what you carry. The weight you feel is not a burden meant to crush you. It is glory, resting upon a willing heart. There is a difference between pressure born from fear and weight born from purpose. Pressure exhausts you. Glory strengthens you. Pressure comes from striving alone. Glory comes from being entrusted. What I place upon you is not meant to suffocate you, but to shape you. You feel it because you are close to obedience, not because you are failing. You have confused responsibility with heaviness. You assume that if something feels weighty, it must be wrong. But some callings carry gravity because they matter. They touch lives. They shape futures. They require depth. Light things do not require strength. Sacred things do. This weight has drawn you to me, not away from me. It has made you pause, reflect, pray, and listen. That is not the effect of a burden. That is the effect of glory. When I entrust something meaningful, I also supply the grace to carry it. You were never meant to bear it alone. You feared that saying yes would rob you of peace. But peace does not come from avoiding weight. It comes from carrying the right weight with me. The wrong burdens exhaust you because they were never yours to carry. The weight of calling settles differently. It grounds you. It steadies you. It aligns you. Think of a crown, my child. It has weight, but it is not meant to harm the one who wears it. It rests where it belongs. In the same way, this calling rests upon you because it belongs to you. You were shaped to carry it, not crushed by it. Do not run from this feeling. Learn to discern it. Ask yourself what this weight produces in you. Does it draw you toward me? Does it awaken reverence? Does it stir courage and humility together? Then it is not fear. It is glory preparing you for movement. I know you worry about carrying it every day, but you will not carry it all at once. I give daily grace for daily obedience. I do not place tomorrow's weight on today's strength. I meet you where you are, and I walk with you as you grow. You do not need to harden yourself to survive this calling. Softness does not disqualify you. Sensitivity does not weaken you. I trust you with this weight because your heart remains tender. Tender hearts feel deeply, and deep hearts carry glory well. When you feel overwhelmed, return to me. Let me adjust what you are carrying. Let me remove what does not belong to you. Many of the things weighing you down were never assigned by me. Lay them at my feet, and keep only what I have given. The enemy would have you believe that this weight means you are not capable. But I tell you it means you are entrusted. I would not place this calling upon you if I had not already placed within you the strength to carry it with me. So stand still for a moment and breathe. Let your shoulders relax. You are not late. You are not failing. You are not collapsing. You are being clothed with purpose. This weight will not break you. It will anchor you. It will mature you. It will draw you closer to me. And when you walk in obedience, you will discover that what once felt heavy becomes steady, and what once felt daunting becomes holy. Carry it with me, my beloved child. What you feel is not a burden. It is glory. My beloved child, I want you to understand something sacred about me. I am patient, endlessly patient, but time itself is holy. I do not rush you, yet I do not treat moments carelessly. Every season carries an assignment, and every assignment has a window. When I speak to you now with firmness, it is not because my love has thinned, but because the moment has ripened. You have known my patience all your life. You have felt it when I waited while you healed. You have experienced it when I stayed near while you questioned, doubted, and hesitated. I did not abandon you in those moments. I honored your process. But patience does not mean permission to remain forever where growth is complete. There comes a time when waiting no longer protects you. It begins to preserve fear instead of wisdom. That is when I speak with clarity, not anger, not disappointment, clarity. Because clarity is kindness when time matters. I do not measure time the way you do, but I do honor it. Moments are not random. They align with readiness, opportunity, and need. When I tell you that now is the time, it is because the conditions around you and within you have aligned. Hearts are open. Paths are forming. What once would have overwhelmed you will now strengthen you. You feel the urgency, and part of you fears it. You associate urgency with pressure, with failure, with being pushed. But my urgency is not frantic. It is steady. It is the urgency of a harvest ready to be gathered, of a door open at just the right angle, of a word that must be spoken while ears are ready to hear. I do not say now to punish delay. I say now to prevent loss. Not loss of love, but loss of opportunity. Some things cannot be postponed without consequence, not because I withdraw, but because seasons move. You cannot plant in winter what belongs to spring. You wonder if you can wait a little longer. Let me ask you gently, what are you protecting by waiting? Is it wisdom or is it fear disguised as caution? There is a difference. Wisdom listens and then moves. Fear listens and then stalls. I am not asking you to rush ahead of me. I am asking you to walk with me at the pace of obedience. Slowness that comes from listening is holy. Slowness that comes from avoidance is costly. I want to save you from that cost. You were not created to circle the same mountain indefinitely. You were created to move forward when I lead. Growth always requires transition, and transitions always require trust. I know you fear missing something if you move. But what you risk missing by not moving is greater. You risk staying in a place that once served you but can no longer sustain you. You risk dulling your sensitivity to my voice. You risk confusing comfort with calling. My patience remains, but my invitation carries weight now. This is not condemnation. This is alignment. I am drawing you into the next chapter before the previous one hardens around you. Hear me clearly, my child. I am not asking for haste. I am asking for obedience. Obedience honors time. Obedience respects seasons. Obedience recognizes when preparation has finished its work. You do not need to mourn what you are leaving. What you are stepping into carries greater life. You do not need to fear what you have not yet seen. I am already there. Time is sacred because lives are connected. Your obedience intersects with others' need. Your yes meets their waiting. When you delay, the intersection waits too. I tell you this not to burden you, but to awaken you. So respond to me now, not with panic, but with reverence. This moment matters. This season is holy. My patience has prepared you, and now my timing invites you. Walk forward, my beloved child. I am patient, yes, but time is sacred. My beloved child, I want you to understand the weight and wonder of what is before you now. Your yes is not small. It is not symbolic. It is not quiet in the unseen. Your yes changes everything, not because you are powerful on your own, but because heaven responds when a willing heart aligns with me. One decision, spoken softly or loudly, can redirect an entire life. One surrendered yes can open doors you did not even know were closed. You have spent so much time wondering what will happen if you move, yet you have not fully considered what will happen if you do. Heaven leans in when you choose obedience. Grace moves. Provision shifts. Paths realign. Your yes does not require perfection. It requires trust. And trust, once given, creates movement in places you cannot see. Angels respond to obedience. Circumstances adjust. Resistance weakens. What once felt heavy begins to lift, not because the work disappears, but because you are no longer carrying it alone. I know your yes feels costly. Every true yes does. It requires laying something down: control, comfort, familiarity, certainty. But every yes also receives something in return: peace, clarity, purpose, and presence. I never take without giving more. You have wondered if your yes would really matter. Hear me clearly now. Heaven marks obedience. I mark it. I remember it. I build upon it. Your yes becomes a foundation stone for things yet unseen. And as you feel this truth stirring within you, do not let it remain only a feeling. Let it become expression. If these words are awakening your spirit, bless this message with a like. Let it be your outward agreement with what is happening inwardly. If you know others who are standing at the edge of their own yes, share this message with them. Do not keep courage to yourself when it was meant to be multiplied. I invite you to subscribe as well, not as a habit, but as a commitment to remain attentive to my voice. And I ask you, my child, hype this video. Lift it so it reaches the ones who are hesitating in silence, the ones who need permission to say yes. When you do, you are partnering with me in awakening hearts. Now hear me speak to you as your father and your sender. I say to you, when you respond to this moment with generosity, you are sealing your yes with action. I am the one who declared that when seed is sown into good soil, it produces a harvest beyond what was planted. This message, this calling, this work, this is good soil. I speak directly to your heart now. I say, my child, place your hand to what I am doing. When you give through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link provided for you in the description and shown in QR code form, you are not supporting content. You are fueling obedience. You are helping my voice reach those who have not yet found words for what they feel. This is a prophetic moment for giving. Do not treat it as ordinary. Let it be an act of alignment. Let it be a response, not a reaction. I bless every seed sown here. I bless it with increase, with peace, with clarity, and with joy. I bless the hands that give and the lives that will be touched because you moved when I spoke. I command you now, do not delay what your spirit has already agreed with. Respond. Do. And watch how I multiply what you place into my hands. Your yes changes everything, my beloved child. Heaven had been waiting for it. My beloved child, there is something tender I want to speak to you about now. Something that has quietly held your heart back. It is the fear of loss. The fear that if you answer this call fully, you will have to lay something down that you are not ready to release. Comfort, familiar rhythms, old identity, relationships, dreams that once felt safe. Hear me gently and clearly now. What you lay down, I will replace. I am not a taker who leaves emptiness behind. I am a father who exchanges. I do not strip you, I clothe you. I do not empty you, I fill you. When I ask you to release something, it is never because I want you to have less. It is because I want you to have what fits who you are becoming. You hold tightly to certain things not because they are good for you, but because they are familiar. Familiarity can feel like safety, even when it no longer brings life. You have learned how to survive there. You know its boundaries. You know its cost. But survival is not the same as fullness. And I did not create you merely to survive. When I ask you to lay something down, I do not do it abruptly or without care. I see how deeply attached you are. I know the memories, the effort, the identity wrapped around what you hold. I do not minimize that. I honor it. But I also see what it has cost you to keep holding on. Some things you are carrying were useful in an earlier season but have become heavy in this one. They no longer nourish you. They no longer stretch you. They no longer align with where I am leading you. And still, you cling to them, fearing the space they will leave behind. But hear me, my child. I am not asking you to leap into emptiness. I am asking you to trust me with the exchange. Every time I have asked my children to release something, it was because I had already prepared what would replace it. You just could not see it yet. You fear regret. You fear looking back and wishing you had kept what you let go. Well, regret comes not from obedience. It comes from ignoring growth. You will not miss what no longer fits once you step into what was made for you. There are new joys ahead that require open hands. There is peace that cannot be carried alongside certain old burdens. There is clarity that comes only when clutter is released. I am not diminishing your life. I am refining it. Trust me with what you are afraid to lose. I see the whole picture. I know what you need, not just now, but later. I know what will sustain you when challenges come. I know what will bring you joy that lasts longer than comfort ever could. You may feel like you are giving up too much, but you are not giving up. You are making room. Room for growth. Room for deeper peace. Room for relationships aligned with who you are becoming. Room for purpose that does not drain you but fulfills you. I do not ask you to release everything at once. I guide you gently, one surrender at a time. and each time you trust me, you will see that I am faithful. I do not leave voids. I fill them with better things. Look back over your life and remember the times you thought you were losing something, only to later realize you were being led into something better. That was me then, and I am the same now. So do not fear the letting go, my beloved child. I am not leading you into lack. I am leading you into abundance of the right kind. Lay it down with trust. Open your hands. What I place there next will be lighter, truer, and filled with life. What you lay down I will replace, and what I replace it with will carry you further than what you released ever could. My beloved child, there is a settling that is about to take place within you, a quiet but powerful shift. This is the hour of alignment, the moment when what has felt scattered begins to come into order, when the inner tension you have lived with starts to ease, not because life becomes effortless, but because your spirit is finally moving in the direction it was created for. Alignment is not loud. It does not announce itself with noise or urgency. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. It feels like clarity where confusion once lived. You may not yet see dramatic change on the outside, but inside, something begins to settle into place. This is what happens when your will and my will begin to walk together. For a long time, you have tried to balance competing voices within you. The voice of comfort pulling you to stay. The voice of fear warning you of risk. And beneath them all, my voice calling you forward. That inner conflict has been exhausting. Alignment quiets that war. When you choose to walk with me, resistance loses its power. You have felt moments of alignment before, brief flashes where everything seemed to make sense. Times when peace washed over you unexpectedly. Those moments were not accidents. They were confirmations. They were glimpses of what life feels like when you are positioned where you belong. Alignment does not remove challenge, but it removes confusion. You will still face decisions, obstacles, and growth, but you will no longer feel pulled in opposite directions. Even when things are difficult, your spirit will know it is right. That knowing brings strength. You have tried to force alignment through effort, through planning, through control. But alignment cannot be manufactured. It is received through surrender. When you release the need to manage outcomes and choose obedience instead, things begin to fall into place naturally. You may notice that certain distractions lose their appeal. Certain conversations feel hollow. Certain paths no longer tempt you. This is not loss. It is refinement. Alignment clarifies desire. What once satisfied you may no longer do so, because you are changing. Do not resist this shift. Let it happen. Trust that I am not stripping joy from your life, but replacing shallow joy with deeper peace. The things that align with your purpose will remain. The things that do not will fall away without force. Alignment also brings rest. Not the rest of inactivity, but the rest of knowing you are where you are meant to be. You stop questioning every step. You stop replaying every decision. You begin to move with confidence rooted not in self-assurance, but in trust. You will still have moments of doubt. Alignment does not make you emotionless, but doubt will no longer dominate you. It will pass through rather than settled in. Your foundation will feel steadier because it is no longer divided. I want you to recognize this hour, my child. Do not rush past it. Do not dismiss it as ordinary. Alignment is a gift. Many search for it their entire lives without realizing it begins with a simple yes. As you continue forward, you will notice that doors open with less resistance. Not because life is easier, but because you are no longer fighting the current. Grace flows where alignment exists. Effort decreases where trust increases. You are not losing yourself in this process. You are finding yourself. The truest version of who you are emerges when you walk in step with me. The person you have been becoming quietly now begins to live openly. Stay attentive. Stay humble. Stay responsive. Alignment is maintained through daily trust, not a single decision. But today marks the beginning. The moment when scattered pieces begin to form a whole. This is the hour of alignment. My beloved child, walk into it with peace. You are exactly where you are meant to be. My beloved child, I want to free your heart from a quiet trap that has followed you for longer than you realize. It is the habit of measuring yourself by others. You look to the left and to the right, watching how quickly others move, how boldly they speak, how visible their progress seems. And without noticing, you begin to shrink your own journey or rush your own steps. Hear me now. Do not measure yourself by others. I never intended your path to mirror another's. Comparison blurs calling. It steals joy and replaces gratitude with pressure. You were not designed to keep pace with someone else's assignment. You were designed to walk faithfully in your own. When you compare, you exchange peace for anxiety and purpose for performance. You see others moving faster and think you are behind. You see others celebrated and think you are overlooked. But I see things differently. I see roots growing where you see slowness. I see depth forming where you see delay. I see strength being built quietly while you assume nothing is happening. Timing is not uniform in my kingdom. Some are called to run early. Some are called to walk longer before they run. Some are sent publicly. Some are prepared privately for seasons unseen. None of these are superior to the others. Each one matters. You do not know what others have carried to arrive where they are. You do not see the cost of their journey, the wounds they endured, the lessons they learned, and they do not see yours. Comparison strips context and leaves only illusion. When you compare, you forget how far you have come. You overlook the victories that required courage you did not think you had. You minimize the healing that took years to complete. You forget that you once prayed to be where you are now. Your pace is intentional. I have not slowed you to punish you, nor sped others to shame you. I lead each child according to what they can carry and what they are called to steward. I am not impressed by speed. I am pleased by faithfulness. There will be times when obedience looks quieter in your life than in another's. That does not mean it is weaker. Quiet obedience often sustains more than loud obedience ever could. I see the hidden yes. I honor the unseen surrender. Do not rush your becoming because someone else appears ahead. Fruit that is forced before its season lacks sweetness. Your oath that is rushed lacks fruits. I am more concerned with who you are becoming than how quickly you appear to arrive. When you focus on others, you lose sensitivity to my voice. When you focus on me, your path becomes clear. I speak to you specifically, not collectively. What I ask of another may not be what I ask of you. Trust that. You are not late. You are not slow. You are not behind schedule. You are on a path designed for your healing, your strength, your calling. Stay in step with me, not with the crowd. Release the need to prove yourself. You have nothing to prove to me. I already know your heart. Walk honestly. Walk humbly. Walk attentively. That is enough. There will be moments when you celebrate others sincerely, without envy, without comparison. That is a sign of freedom. That is a sign your heart is secure. And from that place, your own joy will deepen. Lift your eyes now, my beloved child. not to bear but to trust it, not to measure, but to listen. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Stay with me. Your path is yours, and it is good. My beloved child, I know you wonder where the courage will come from. You look ahead and think you must gather it all at once, store it up, and carry it for the entire journey. But that is not how I give courage. I do not pour it out in overwhelming measure. I give it daily, faithfully, exactly when you need it. You are not expected to be brave for the rest of your life today. You are only asked to trust me for this moment. Courage is not a personality trait you either possess or lack. It is a provision. And like all provision, it arrives on time, not early, not late. There will be mornings when you wake up and feel steady, even hopeful. And there will be days when fear tries to sit beside you before you even rise. Do not panic when that happens. Fear showing up does not mean courage has left. It simply means you are human. Courage will meet you as you move. I give courage the same way I give grace, sufficient for the day. You will not feel strong for everything at once because you are not meant to carry everything at once. Each step has its own strength. Each decision has its own supply. When you try to imagine the entire road, you exhaust yourself before you begin. Stay present with me. Ask me for today's courage, not tomorrow's. And when you ask, believe that I answer. Sometimes courage feels like boldness. Other times it feels like quiet resolve. Sometimes it feels like speaking. Other times it feels like staying silent. Courage does not always roar. Often, it whispers, take the next step. Do not despise small courage. The courage to get up again. The courage to say no when it would be easier to agree. A courage to trust me when outcomes are unclear. These small acts build endurance. They shape you into someone who can carry more without breaking. There will be moments when you feel weak and wonder if courage has failed you. But weakness is not the absence of courage. It is the place where my strength is most active. I do not wait for you to feel powerful before I help you. I meet you in dependence. Remember this, my child, courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move with me despite it. I do not remove every fear from your path. I teach you how to walk through it without being ruled by it. Each time you do, courage grows quietly within you. You may stumble some days. You may hesitate. You may need to pause and breathe. That does not mean courage is gone. It means you are learning to rely on me rather than yourself. I am patient with that learning. There will be days when courage feels effortless and days when it feels costly. Both are normal. Do not measure your calling by how easy it feels. Measure it by how faithfully you return to me. Each return strengthens you. I know you worry about the future versions of yourself. You ask if you will be strong enough later, wise enough later, steady enough later. I tell you now, you will be, because I will still be with you then. I do not abandon my children halfway through their journey. So stop trying to carry tomorrow's courage today. Lay it down. Receive what I am giving you now. Take the step before you, not the miles ahead. I will meet you again tomorrow with fresh strength. I promise you this, my beloved child, you will not run out of courage because you are not the source of it. I am, and I give it to you daily, faithfully, lovingly, as long as you walk with me. My beloved child, I want to speak to you about the resistance you feel rising whenever you move closer to obedience. You have wondered why things seem to push back just as you begin to step forward. You have questioned whether the struggle means you are mistaken. Hear me clearly now. Opposition is not proof that you are wrong. Often, It is confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. There is an enemy who fears your obedience, not because of who you are on your own, but because of who you become when you walk with me. Your yes disrupts plans that rely on your silence. Your movement breaks patterns that depended on your delay. Resistance appears when territory is being challenged. Do not be surprised by this. Darkness does not resist what poses no threat. It reacts when light advances. The pressure you feel is not a signal to retreat. It is a sign that movement has begun. You are not being blocked. You are being noticed. The enemy's strategy is subtle. Rarely does it confront you head-on. Instead, it whispers discouragement, magnifies small obstacles, revives old fears, and questions your worth. He wants you to believe that obedience should be effortless, and if it is not, then it must not be from me. But I never promised ease. I promised presence. Resistance does not mean I have left you. It means you are no longer standing still. It means ground is shifting. It means your obedience is carrying weight in the unseen. What you cannot see reacts before what you can see changes. You may feel tired by the pushback. You may feel tempted to slow down, to reconsider, to step back into familiarity. But remember this: retreat brings temporary relief, not lasting peace. The discomfort you feel now is part of transition, not a warning of danger. The enemy fears obedience because obedience brings authority. Not authority over others, but authority over your own life. Authority to say no to fear. Authority to walk in truth. Authority to break cycles that have lasted longer than you have. When you obey me, you step into alignment that cannot be easily shaken. Do not fight resistance with your own strength. Do not argue with every thought. Stand firm in truth. Truth does not need to shout. It needs to be believed. When doubt comes, return to what I have already spoken. Anchor yourself there. There will be moments when resistance feels personal, as if something is targeting you. Remember, this is not about you alone. It is about what your obedience represents. You are stepping into territory that has not been challenged in a while. That alone creates reaction. I do not tell you this to make you afraid. I tell you this to make you aware. Awareness brings steadiness. When you expect resistance, you are not shaken by it. You recognize it and continue forward. The enemy wants to exhaust you before you gain momentum. It wants to wear you down with delay, distraction, and doubt. But I renew your strength as you wait on me. I give you peace in the midst of pressure. You are not fighting alone. You are not required to confront everything at once. Obedience is not about constant battle. It is about consistent trust. Each step forward weakens resistance more than you realize. Each yes diminishes its voice. There will be a moment when you look back and realize the resistance that once felt overwhelming has lost its grip. Not because it vanished suddenly, but because you grew stronger through obedience. Growth always outpaces opposition when you walk with me. So do not be discouraged by what pushes back. Do not interpret resistance as rejection. See it for what it is: evidence that your obedience matters. Evidence that your movement carries impact. Evidence that light is advancing. Stay close to me, my beloved child. I cover you. I guide you. I strengthen you. And I assure you of this: no resistance you face is greater than the power that walks with you. My beloved child, I want to draw you close now and speak to the heart of why this journey matters so deeply to me. Your obedience honors me, not because I need proof of your love, but because obedience is the language of trust. When you obey, you are not performing for me. You are responding to me. And that response delights my heart. I do not measure obedience by outcomes or visibility. I measure it by love. Love listens. Love responds. Love chooses alignment even when it costs something. When you obey, you are saying, I trust you more than I trust my fear, my comfort, or my understanding. That trust is precious to me. You have been taught, in many ways, that obedience is about duty or obligation. But with me, obedience is relational. It flows from closeness, not pressure. It is the natural response of a heart that knows it is loved and chooses to walk in that love. I am not honored by forced obedience. I am honored by willing hearts. When you choose me freely, even when it is difficult, even when it is unseen, it tells me that you value our relationship above ease. That honors me more than flawless execution ever could. Your obedience is not about earning favor. You already have my favor. It is about living in harmony with truth. When you obey, your life aligns with what I know is best for you. That alignment brings life, peace, and fruit that lasts. I see every quiet yes. Every moment you choose integrity over convenience. Every time you listen when it would be easier to ignore. These moments may never be celebrated publicly, but they are recorded in heaven. They matter. You worry that obedience limits you, that it boxes you in or asks too much. But obedience does not restrict you. It protects you. It keeps you within the flow of grace. Outside of alignment, you strive. Inside of it, you grow. When you obey, you honor me by trusting my heart. You declare that you believe I am good, even when you do not yet see the outcome. The declaration pleases me deeply. It reflects relationship, not religion. I am not disappointed by your questions. I am not threatened by your honesty. What honors me is that even with questions, even with trembling, you still choose to listen. You still choose to follow. That is faith expressed through action. There will be times when obedience feels costly. But know this, I never waste what you give me. Every act of obedience is met with grace. Sometimes the reward is immediate. Sometimes it is delayed. Sometimes it is hidden in growth you will only recognize later. But it is always meaningful. You do not need to obey perfectly to honor me. You need to obey sincerely. I am not looking for vast steps, I am looking for faithful hearts. When you stumble and return, that honors me too. Repentance is obedience in motion. Your obedience also strengthens your intimacy with me. The more you trust me, the closer you feel. The closer you feel, the easier it becomes to trust. This is how relationship deepens, not through knowledge alone, but through shared journey. I take joy in walking with you. I take joy in your willingness. I take joy in your growth. Your obedience is not a burden to me. It is a gift. It tells me that you desire closeness more than control, truth more than comfort. So when you choose to obey, do not do it with heaviness. Do it with trust. Do it knowing that it honors me, not because I demand it, but because love responds. Say close, my beloved child. Your obedience is precious to me, and it draws us deeper together. My beloved child, this moment before you is sacred. Do not rush past it. Do not distract yourself from it. There are times when heaven grows quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because a decision is being honored. This is one of those moments. Do not let it pass. You have listened. You have felt the stirring. You have recognized my voice. Now I ask you to pause, not to delay, but to become fully aware. Awareness is powerful. It is the space where choice is made with clarity rather than impulse. Right now, you are standing in that space. Moments like this do not come often. They arrive when preparation has met readiness. They arrive when your heart is open enough to respond, not out of fear, but out of trust. You may feel emotion rising. You may feel resistance softening. That is not coincidence. That is alignment inviting action. Do not tell yourself you will return to this layer. Later is uncertain. Later is crowded with distractions. Later rarely carries the same clarity that now holds. I am not pressuring you. I am protecting you from missing what matters. This moment is not asking for perfection. It is asking for honesty. An honest yes. An honest step. An honest response to what you know is true. You do not need to have everything figured out. You need to be willing. As you sit with these words, let them move beyond listening. Let them become response. If this message has reached you, if it has stirred your heart, I invite you now, bless this message with a like. Let it mark this moment. And if you know others who are standing at their own crossroads, share this message with them. Someone else needs this clarity. I also ask you to subscribe, my child, not out of habit but out of intention. Stay connected to these reminders so your spirit remains awake and attentive. And I ask you, hype this video. Lift it so it reaches hearts that are hesitating, hearts that are listening quietly, hearts that are waiting for confirmation. When you do, you are partnering with me in calling them forward. Now hear me speak directly to you about something holy. This work, this message, this calling you are hearing, this is seed. And seed must be sown to multiply. I am the one who said that when seed is released into good soil, it produces harvest far beyond what was planted. I speak to your heart now and say, my child, join me in this. When you give through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description and shown through the QR code, you are not giving to a platform. You are fueling the spread of my voice. You are helping light reach places where hope has grown dim. This is not a casual act. It is a prophetic response. It is a seed planted in obedience. And I bless it. I bless every gift given here. I bless it with peace, with increase, with clarity, and with joy. I bless the giver and the lives that will be touched because you moved when I spoke. Do not hesitate now. Do not overthink what your spirit already understands. Respond. Act. Do. Let your obedience take form. Let this moment be marked not only by listening, but by movement. Do not let this moment pass, my beloved child. Step into it with me. My beloved child, I want you to lift your eyes now beyond this moment and rest in a truth that brings deep assurance. I am already in your tomorrow. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone. You are moving toward a future where my presence has already gone ahead of you, preparing, shaping, and guarding what you cannot yet see. You fear tomorrow because it feels unknown. Your mind fills the empty spaces with questions, possibilities, and worries. But tomorrow is not empty to me. I see it clearly. I stand within it. I know what you will face, what you will need, and how I will meet you there. Nothing waiting for you is unaccounted for. You imagine that obedience leads you into risk without safety. But obedience leads you into a future already covered by my care. I do not call you forward and then react to what happens next. I call you forward because I already know what is next. Your steps may feel new to you, but they are familiar to me. There are moments ahead where you will look back and realize that what you feared never happened the way you imagined. And there will be moments where challenges do arise, but you will face them with a strength you did not have before. That strength will not come from knowing everything in advance. It will come from walking with me consistently. You will not arrive in tomorrow as the same person you are today. Each step of obedience reshapes you. Each act of trust builds capacity. You are becoming someone who can carry what is coming. I do not reveal the future fully because you are still growing into the person who will walk in it. Do not try to solve tomorrow now. Do not borrow worries that do not belong to today. I give you grace in portions, not in excess. Tomorrow's grace waits for tomorrow's step. When you arrive there, it will be present. You are safe to move forward because I am faithful to meet you. I am not surprised by what lies ahead. I am not scrambling to prepare. I am not distant. I am already there, steadied and present. There will be moments in your future where you will smile at how far you have come. Moments where peace settles in ways you once longed for. Moments where you realize that obedience did not take life from you. It gave it back to you in fuller measure. You fear making the wrong choice. But walking with me means you are never walking alone. Even if you stumble, I am there to steady you. Even if you misstep, I guide you back. You are not abandoned to your decisions. You are accompanied in them. The future is not something you must conquer. It is something you will walk into with me, step by step, day by day, with guidance, correction, provision, and rest along the way. I know you wish you could see the whole picture before you move. But if you could, you would rely on sight rather than trust. And trust is what keeps you close to me. Closeness matters more than certainty. So when fear tries to pull you backward by pointing at tomorrow, remember this: tomorrow already belongs to me. And because you belong to me, it is held with care. Move forward now with confidence, not in yourself, but in me. The one who calls you also goes before you. I am already in your tomorrow, my beloved child, and I will be there when you arrive. My beloved child, I want you to know what will follow your yes. Not chaos, not regret, not constant struggle. Peace will follow your yes. Not the fragile peace that depends on circumstances staying calm, but the deep, steady peace that settles in your spirit when you are aligned with me. You have searched for peace in many places. You have tried to think your way into it, plan your way into it, protect your way into it. But peace does not come from control. It comes from agreement. When your will and my will meet, peace is released. Not because everything becomes easy, but because everything becomes anchored. You may still face challenges after you obey. You may still encounter moments of uncertainty. But the inner noise that once exhausted you will begin to quiet. The constant questioning, the second guessing, the inner conflict that pulled you in different directions, that will lose its grip. Peace arrives when you stop resisting what you already know is true. Peace is not the absence of fear, it is the presence of trust. When you say yes, you place your trust in me, and that trust becomes a shelter for your heart. Even when waves rise, your spirit remains steady because it knows where it belongs. You will notice the difference quickly. Decisions that once drained you will feel clearer. Choices that once felt heavy will feel simpler. Not because they are insignificant, but because you are no longer divided. Division creates tension. Alignment creates rest. This peace will not always shout. Sometimes it will whisper. It will show up as calm in moments where you once panicked, as patience where you once rushed, as confidence where you once doubted. It will become a companion, reminding you that you are walking in step with me. You may wonder if peace will leave when things get hard, but peace rooted in obedience is resilient. It does not depend on outcomes. It depends on relationship. And I do not withdraw my presence when the road narrows. I draw closer. There will be moments when old fears try to return, when habits of worry knock again. Do not be alarmed. Peace does not mean fear will never knock. It means fear no longer controls the house. You will recognize the difference. You will respond differently. You will return to me more quickly. Peace will also guard your heart. It will keep you from rushing ahead and from retreating backward. It will help you discern when to act and when to wait. It will steady you when voices around you grow loud. It will remind you why you said yes in the first place. This peace is not something you must maintain by effort. It is something you receive by trust. When you feel it begin to slip, do not strive to regain it. Return to me. Peace flows from closeness, not from avoidance. I know you fear that obedience will lead to constant pressure. But obedience leads to rest because it removes the burden of pretending, the burden of delaying, the burden of carrying what was never yours. Peace comes when you stop fighting the current and begin to flow with it. You will rest better. Breathe deeper. Smile more freely. Not because life is perfect, but because your spirit is settled. That settling is confirmation. It is my quiet assurance that you are where you are meant to be. Let this truth anchor you. If you follow me, peace will follow you. Not always immediately, not always dramatically, but faithfully. Peace is not a reward for obedience. It is a companion of it. So do not fear the path ahead, my beloved child. Peace is walking with you. And when doubts arise, let peace remind you, you chose well. My beloved child, come closer now and let me speak words your heart has long needed to hear. I am proud of you. Not because you have done everything perfectly, but because you have listened. Because you have stayed open. Because you have chosen courage when fear would have been easier. My pride in you is not fragile. It is steady, rooted in love. You have spent much of your life measuring approval through achievement. You learned to believe that love must be earned, that affirmation comes only after success, that worth follows performance. But with me, pride is not the result of accomplishment. It is the expression of relationship. I am proud of you because you are my child. I am proud of the nights you endured quietly. Proud of the moments you kept going when no one was watching. Proud of the times you chose kindness when bitterness tempted you. Proud of the way you returned to me even after doubt crept in. These things mattered. They still matter. You have often dismissed your own growth because it did not look dramatic. You overlooked the slow healing, the patient waiting, the small but faithful steps. But I saw every one of them. I saw the strength it took to keep listening. I saw the humility it took to admit you did not know everything. I saw the trust it took to say yes. I am proud of you for not hardening your heart. Life tried to teach you to close off, to protect yourself by withdrawing, to survive by numbing your hope. And yet, you stayed tender. You stayed responsive. You stayed willing to believe that I was still speaking. And tenderness is strength, not weakness. You feared disappointing me. You worried that your delays, your questions, your fears somehow made you less in my eyes. Let that lie fall away now. I have never looked at you with disappointment. I have always looked at you with understanding and care. My pride in you did not waver while you learned. When you chose obedience, even trembling, my heart rejoiced. When you trusted me with something precious, I received it with honor. When you stepped forward without knowing every detail, I stood with you. These moments brought me joy, not because I needed proof of your faith, but because I cherish your trust. I am proud of the person you are becoming. The way you listen more deeply. The way you pause before reacting. The way you seek truth over comfort. Growth is not loud, but it is beautiful. And you are growing. You may not always feel strong, but you are becoming resilient. You may not always feel confident, but you are becoming steady. You may not always feel certain, but you are becoming faithful. These qualities matter more than you know. I want you to receive this affirmation fully. Do not deflect it. Do not minimize it. Let it settle into the places where you have doubted your worth. Let it heal the parts of you that always felt unseen. I see you. I know you. And I am proud of you. This pride is not conditional. It does not fade when you struggle. It does not disappear when you rest. It is not threatened by your humanity. It is rooted in love that does not change. Carry this truth with you as you move forward. When voices question you, remember my voice. When fear accuses you, remember my affirmation. When you feel small, remember how I see you. Lift your head, my beloved child. Walk with confidence, not in yourself, but in my love for you. You are not walking forward to earn my approval. You are walking forward with it. I am proud of you, and I will continue to be every step of the way. My beloved child, I need you to understand the uniqueness of the moment you are standing in now. This call will not return in the same way. Not because I withdraw my love, and not because I stop caring, but because moments are shaped by timing, and timing moves forward. What you are hearing now carries a particular weight because it belongs to this hour. I am not saying this to create fear in you. I am saying it to bring clarity. There are invitations that come again and again, and there are others that come with a specific grace attached to a specific season. This is one of those. The clarity you feel now, the stirring in your spirit, the alignment within your heart. These are not permanent states. They are gifts meant to be received and acted upon. You may tell yourself that if you wait, the call will come back just as strong, just as clear, just as urgent. But understand this. While I remain faithful, the conditions around you will not remain frozen. Seasons change. Responsibilities shift. Hearts grow busy. What is clear today can become crowded tomorrow. This does not mean you would be abandoned if you delayed. It means the path would look different. The ease you feel now, the readiness forming within you, the openness of your spirit. These are not guaranteed to remain unchanged. When you resist movement long enough, sensitivity dulls. Not suddenly but slowly. And I want to spare you that loss. I do not repeat moments because repetition is kind. I repeat them when growth is still needed. But this moment is not repeating because you failed before. It is here because you are ready now. That is why it carries such intensity. That is why it feels alive in your spirit. You are not being threatened with loss. You are being invited into fullness. I am not closing something to punish you. I am opening something because it is time. But open doors do not remain open forever, not because I am harsh, but because purpose moves. You have sensed this already. That quiet knowing that says, if I turn away again, it will not feel the same next time. That knowing is not fear. It is discernment. It is wisdom awakening within you. I want you to understand me correctly here. If you stumble later, I will still be with you. If you struggle later, I will still guide you. But this moment, this clarity, this tenderness, this readiness, this is precious. Do not treat it casually. You have reached a point where delay no longer feels neutral. It feels heavy. That is not condemnation. That is your spirit recognizing that waiting has finished its work. You are standing at the edge of transition, and transitions ask for response. I am gentle, but I am also truthful. I would not honor you by pretending this moment is ordinary. It is not. It carries weight because your heart is awake, because your will is soft, because your faith is present. If you walk away now, you will not lose me, but you will carry a quiet ache, wondering what might have unfolded if you had trusted me here. And I do not want you to live with that ache. I want you to live with peace. There is a sweetness in obedience that is offered at the right time. Mistiming still leads to growth, but timely obedience leads to joy that is lighter, cleaner, and deeper. I desire that for you. So listen to me with love, not fear. This call will not return in the same way because you are not meant to circle this place again. You are meant to move forward. You are meant to step through. Do not mourn what you are leaving. It has served its purpose. Do not fear what lies ahead. I am already there. Honor this moment by responding to it. This is not pressure. This is truth wrapped in love. And I speak it because I care for you deeply. Choose life, my beloved child. Choose movement. Choose trust. This moment matters. My beloved child, I want to place this decision before you in the simplest and truest way, without confusion, without pressure, without fear. When you choose me, you choose life. Not merely existence, not survival, but life as it was meant to be lived, connected, purposeful, and filled with meaning that reaches beyond you. Life with me is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of direction. It is waking up knowing why you move, even when the road is hard. It is having peace that does not collapse when circumstances change. When you choose me, you choose alignment over confusion, truth over illusion, and purpose over drifting. You have seen what life feels like when you try to carry it alone. You have tasted the exhaustion of self-reliance, the frustration of endless questioning, the quiet emptiness that comes from living without agreement between your heart and your actions. That was never meant to be your home. Choosing me is not about rejecting your past. It is about redeeming it. Every step you took, even the ones filled with doubt, has led you here. I do not erase your story. I fulfill it. I weave meaning into what once felt scattered. When you choose me, nothing is wasted. Life flows where trust flows. When you choose me, you allow life to move through you rather than against you. You stop fighting currents that were never meant to be resisted. You begin to move with grace rather than strain. That is life. You fear losing yourself if you choose me fully. But I tell you, you will find yourself. The truest version of who you are does not exist apart from me. I formed you. I know your design. I know where your joy lives. When you choose me, you choose to become whole. This choice does not require you to have all the answers. It requires you to trust the one who does. It does not require certainty. It requires willingness. And willingness is already alive in you. There will always be voices offering alternatives. Voices promising comfort without commitment, freedom without responsibility, life without surrender. But those voices lead to fragmentation, not fulfillment. They offer moments, not meaning. Choosing me is choosing a path where your steps matter, where your obedience carries impact, where your life speaks even when you are silent. It is choosing a life that does not merely pass time, but transforms it. I do not coerce you. Love never does. I place the choice before you because I respect you. But I also speak clearly because truth matters. Life is found in me. Peace is found in me. Direction is found in me. You stand at a threshold now. Not between good and bad, but between life and less than life. Between alignment and avoidance. Between becoming and remaining. This is not about perfection. It is about direction. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am asking you to come home to who you were always meant to be. Life with me is not smaller, is wider, is deeper, is truer. So choose me, my beloved child. Choose life. Choose to walk forward rather than remain still. Choose trust over fear. Choose obedience over hesitation. Choose relationship over distance. I am here. I have always been here. And I am ready to walk with you into the life that has been waiting for your yes. My beloved child, you have come to the end of this message, but not to the end of my presence. What you have heard is not meant to linger only in your ears. It is meant to settle into your heart and walk with you into your days ahead. This was never just a message. It was an invitation, spoken with love, patience, and truth. You have felt the stirring. You have recognized the call. You have seen how every step, every hesitation, every moment of waiting led you here. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was overlooked. Even now, as you sit with these words, I am near, watching how your heart responds, not with judgment, but with deep affection. Remember this always. I did not call you to oppress me. I called you to walk with me. I did not summon you because you were flawless, but because you were willing. And willingness, offered honestly, is enough for me to build a life of purpose and peace. You do not need to rush from this moment. Let it rest within you. Let it remind you who you are when doubt tries to speak louder than truth. Let it steady you when the road ahead feels unfamiliar. I am not sending you away alone. I am walking with you, step by step, breath by breath. And now, my beloved child, I speak to you one last time in this message about something sacred. What I have spoken here is light, and light is meant to travel. There are souls who have not yet found the words for what they feel. There are hearts standing at the same threshold where you once stood. When you help this message move, you help my call reach them. I say to you now, from my heart to yours, when you support this work, you are not supporting a voice. You are extending my reach. You are sowing seed into soil where lives are changed. I am the one who said that when seed is sown, it does not return empty. It multiplies. It brings harvest. It feeds many. This is your moment to act prophetically. When you give through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal donation link placed in the video description and shown through the QR code, you are responding to me. You are helping carry this call to places you may never go, but where my love must still arrive. I bless every act of generosity given here. I bless it with open doors, with peace in your home, with clarity in your decisions, and with joy that runs deeper than circumstance. I declare that what you release in obedience will return to you multiplied in ways you cannot yet imagine. Do not delay this final act of response. Let it seal what has been awakened in you. Let it be your yes made visible. Act now, not out of obligation, but out of alignment. And as you go from here, carry this with you. You are called, you are loved, and you are never alone. Walk forward with courage. Walk forward with peace. Walk forward knowing that I am proud of you, and I am with you always. Amen.